my dog. DJ
Sama Sutra. Let's go.
So we gonna have one of the craziest times you ever had in your life.
Breakdancing was announced as an Olympic sport. The IOC says it's trying to make the games more urban and youthful.
DJ Sama, hey, be sure to click and like and subscribe onto my YouTube channel, Sama Sutra, and hit the bell button so you to get those notices, because you never know what Sama Sutra is going to be doing and where we're going to be at. I got to bring on my guest. This kid has been doing some incredible things. He's got a school down in Miami called Breakin Mia, where he teaches the future breakers and B-girls exactly how to do it the right way when it's time to go into competition. So I want you to help me welcome the none other than Zeku. Zeku's in the building. What's going on, Zeku?
Yo, what's up? What's up, Felix? How's everything going, man?
I'm doing real good, man. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Thank you for having me. Excited. It's an honor.
Yeah, Speedy, my partner Speedy's been telling me a lot about you, and I got to meet you, I don't know, about a month and a half ago, and he would like kind of just fill me in on some of the things that you've done, in the breakdance world. And I was like, wow, that's really cool that he's coming from Miami and he's representing hard like that, and he's really competing at a high level, because a lot of kids, they breakdance and they do it for the fun of it, you know what I'm saying, because it is a very physical sport, you know what I'm saying? But then you have your other section that does it because they really want to compete and they want to win. You know what I mean? So there's there's different stages is what I'm trying to say when you're breaking, and all of it is good as far as I'm concerned. I remember when I was your age, in my late teens and my early 20s, I was a breaker as well. So, I transitioned from that into DJing, but I used to love breakdancing. It would beat up my body, but I really I really loved it. I remember when I was trying to do the backspin, trying to perfect the backspin, I would get these big chichones right here on the side of my stomach, man. I don't know if that ever happened to you. Probably not, because you don't have that much weight on you, so I don't know if you got that issue going on or not.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. What I've always told, I have a lot of conversations with the generation before me, and we kind of always come down to the same agreement point, which is the education on recovery and health is completely different than it was back then. Back then it was kind of like, just go for it, do it until you get it, and just figure it out. Now it's like, all right, practice it this way, make sure that the leg is going this way. There's somewhat of a blueprint laid out. When you guys were doing it, there wasn't much of a blueprint. It was just people kind of figured it out, and then recovery wasn't even in the conversation. A healthy diet wasn't even in the conversation. And once you do some deep research into that, you start to realize and see the correlation between all those three things.
Yeah. I mean, breaking has evolved tremendously since the 80s. So we'll get into a little bit of that. But I want to know, how did you get your start or your interest in breaking? What gravitated you to want to even do it?
Yeah, so I always loved music, and I was always an active kid. I played basketball, I played football. I was that little hood kid running around the neighborhood playing manhunt, just being outside with the kids. But the one thing that I always loved was music. So I had tried just about every sport, but there just wasn't no music involved. In basketball, there'd be music during your timeout, or during the break or whatever. Same thing with football, but when the game started, and there wasn't no music. So I would catch myself enjoying the music moments more than anything, and that kind of would always speak to me. And then, as a kid, you grow up in the family parties, and you do your little Michael Jackson moves to impress the family and stuff like that. And then finally, one day, which is the kid who I actually started with, who's my best friend, who till this day we're like this. His name is Fusion. We actually started breaking on the same day. We were at his house, and we saw a movie that I'm pretty sure you're familiar with called You Got Served.
Yeah.
And we saw You Got Served, and we were in awe. We just looked at each other and we were like, yo, this is crazy. And I remember the battle that they were doing in that movie at that time. It was a crew battle for $3,000.
Yeah.
And where we come from, it was like, man, how you gonna make some money, So mind you, we later on found out that it was just a movie, because there was no battles for $3,000 at that time. But we were like, man, we could do something we love. It's music and it's a career, you know. And this was in 2000, 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So, and breaking was still nowhere near like what it is now. It was definitely well on its way, but it wasn't there yet. You know, anybody could have derailed it. Um, and yeah, man, that movie really had a heavy influence on us. From that day forward, we were like, this is what we're gonna do. And man, I went full gear into it from that day on.
So did you attend any of the pro-ams from before?
Man, it was crazy. I have a certain section of my breaking that's very like blurred. I can't remember exactly like events. I can't remember a lot of things like that. I did go to Pro Am. I don't remember the exact year, but I know about Pro Am '98 and Pro Am '99. Like when I was basically being born. Like the Pro-Ams that I went to, I was so focused on my training that I didn't really get to appreciate what those events were. And I remember the Pro-Am that I went to. I don't remember the year that I went. Could have been maybe like 2012 or 2013, something like that. That I remember it was on South Beach. It was South Beach on Friday night because I remember my mom was super mad. And then Saturday was at like this club in downtown, I think. Um, and then Sunday, and then I actually won. I think like the one on Sunday on Ocean Drive where they had the bikes
Yeah.
where Myrtle Beach is now.
Mm-hmm.
They did like a one there, and I won like the kids one or something like that. I got second place in the kids battle on Saturday, and then I think I got like Cypher King on Friday night, and I was with my boy Hype, which is one of the other kids that I had started with. But
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't remember like the exact year or anything like that. I had to go
Yeah.
back and look.
Yeah, well, it's still in there somewhere, though. You know what I'm saying? In your mind,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still in there. You can recollect here and there, which is really cool. That now you're coming to the Pro Am Dance and DJ Expo as a instructor. You've got your own school. You're going to be doing
yeah.
workshops. We're talking about maybe even doing a battle, which is really, really cool. That's great that you've been able to see yourself, evolve through the years. I want to talk a little bit about, your competitive side and what you've done in the competitive arena throughout the world, not only in the USA. But first, let's get into a little clip of Zeku and some of the things that he's done in the past. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have the Battle of the Century!
Yeah, a lot of practice. A lot, a lot of practice, boy. Is that when when you look back at yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like in competitions and things of that nature on video. Do you are you anal or are you looking and you're going, wow, man, that's me? How do you look at yourself?
Man, it's crazy when I'm in my competitive like season, where I'm like I have like a couple of battles lined up. I'm consistently just looking at my battles, going like here are my holes and here are my dips. I was just having this conversation with a buddy of mine last night, where I've always have been my biggest critic, and I don't say it just to say it. Like everybody around me really knows it. I can find holes in my game that other people probably think there isn't a hole, but I can see just because I've always been so obsessed with like improvement and being the best, and like right now where I'm sitting at and the position that I'm in right now, where I'm not in this competitive season right now, I just looked at that video and I was like, wow, like I remember looking and being like, man, I want to be that guy. Like I want to battle the rocks fights. I want to battle these top level guys, and like I want to be the guy that goes, man, you remember when this guy battled Zeku though, and then like you ain't even hear from that guy ever again. Like, yo, those are the stories I used to hear about the old school battles. So
Yeah.
I wanted to be that dude, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A lot of
the
work, a
same
lot of
thing.
hard work. Yeah, a lot of hard work goes into being, that top competitor, and,
Yeah.
and reigning supreme at these competitions because everybody's going ham. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants that crown. You know what I mean? And what I like about, at least from what I see, it seems like you guys are, when you're in the circle, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Especially you got a lot of competitiveness and drive, and you let the other guy know, like, yo, I'm gonna take you out. That kind of personality. But then after that, you guys are hugging each other and everything's cool. So I would imagine that everyone's got a good rapport with each other for the
Yeah.
most
So
part.
it kind of it kind of differs between who you battle, because yeah, like you said, me, and I'm very open about it. I've said it in many interviews. When I'm battling, like I don't care about you. I don't care about what you have going on. Like I have my things going on. Like I came here to win. Afterwards, like I'm your biggest fan, because I'm a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of the art form, and some people, what I've realized as I've gone up in the ranks, it's completely the opposite, dude. Like with a lot of these like big and known guys, on the floor they're these super nice guys and they're super cool and super humble. And then you guys finish battling, or they battle somebody who's aggressive, and you go to shake their hand and they're just like a whole different person. And you're like, dude, you got it reversed. Like when we're battling, you're supposed to not like me. Afterwards, we're supposed to go get some ice cream, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what you so mad about?
Yeah.
And that was something that definitely gave me my position within like the breaking world, because I was very open about how much I wanted to win and how much it meant to me. I didn't approach it as a lot of people would do and go, I don't really care if I win or lose. I'm realistic, man. If I train for something, I didn't go over there to just
Yeah.
lose. I
Yeah.
have a lot more fun winning, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and try and win.
Yeah.
So
So in the last couple of years, how many competitions have you won? Like in the last 2 years. I mean, excluding COVID, obviously.
yeah,
So in the
yeah.
last 3 years, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. 2018 was kind of like an okay year. I won some, I lost some.
Yeah.
And then 2019, I went on a complete streak of just winning the top events in the world that year, excluding Undisputed, which I know we're going to talk about that event. I had my own views on that battle as well.
Okay.
Um,
Is that the
but
one
but
with
yeah,
Zoo?
yeah, the one with Supreme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and pop it
Yeah.
up right now.
Yeah, so that was the only battle that year that I actually didn't come out on top.
Yeah, I saw. So you think that competition may have not been as fair as it needed to be?
I put myself in that position to do it. I was on my like my high of I know I could win, I know I could do it, but regardless, the politics does exist within what we do, which is completely okay. You got to live with it.
Yeah.
But there was 3 Red Bull judges out of the 5. I represent Monster Energy pretty clearly.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of going into the Shark Tank, but it was cool. I grabbed the mic after that battle and I was like, I didn't lose that. And everybody started laughing.
Are you
And,
serious?
me and Supreme talked about it, and he told me he felt that I won too. So it was cool, man. But he ended up winning the whole battle. His daughter was there. So, things like that make me think like
Yeah.
he needed to win, he needed to have that moment with his daughter and all that. So
How
it
did
was
you
awesome.
start off 2021 in terms of competition?
I ended up winning a really big competition that was hosted in Houston called Space City. It was one of the first in-person battles back.
Yeah, we have that clip.
Yeah. So that was cool, man. It was cool to just kind of like dust off and be like, all right, cool, still got it, still in it.
Do you consider yourself? Let me see. How can I word this so that it doesn't sound too condescending? Do you consider yourself one of the top 3 best b-boys in the world or in the USA?
When you ask me, I don't really like to answer it because if you ask me, even when I wasn't anybody, I say I'm the best in the world. I would tell people I was the best in the world. So
Okay.
like, and now I tell people I'm like I'm to me I'm definitely the best in the world, and then there's a top three. That's how I see it because I have a different approach to how I come to this dance. I don't just bring a competitive aspect. I'm the number one competitor, but on top of that, I'm a community leader. I host events. I'm an instructor. I do all these things at a top level. So I think that's what really correlates between being the best in the world and then being a top three competitor.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said about that, though. I think you have to have that, that it factor within yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? Now, talk to me a little bit about Doug. He seems to be like, your protege for the most part.
Yeah, well, it's two of them. It's Doug and Nels. I don't really like to say that they're my proteges. I rather them say that, them feel open about saying things like that because when I first picked them up when they were 12 and I think it was 12 and 13 or 13 and 14, my goal wasn't to be like I want these kids to say that I was their teacher or anything like that because originally they came from one of my mentors, which is D, and another guy. Jet, they came up through them first. And then when they hit 12, 13, 13, 14, they kind of hit like a plateau where it was what kind of happened to me too, where I hit a certain level of where my mentors could take me and I had to go in search of other mentors that had
Yeah.
to reach different heights.
Yeah.
So for me, it was different because I had to travel across the world to do that because nobody in Miami had been at that level. So it was hard I didn't have the resource here. I had to fly literally all over the world. I went to Holland, I went to Philadelphia, I went to all these places off of street performing money. Slept in airports, slept on people's couches as a little kid, just trying to learn and be better. So with them, when I saw them, I said, man, these kids got the potential to do what I'm doing and even bigger and even sooner. I was like, and what am I gonna do if I don't pass this down? They're just gonna remember me as like oh yeah, he was a dope b boy. Like he made it, he took it to a level that it had never gotten taken before here in the city.
Yeah, the
And
kid's a
that just
powerhouse, man. I really think that he's a strong break dancer. You know what I'm saying? I really think that he's got it. You know what I mean? You could tell like somebody that's got it, and he's a very powerful dancer. Very
yeah,
powerful.
but him and Nels, man, because there's Doug's power is beautiful. The way he flies, the way he puts things together, very
Yeah.
beautiful, effortlessly. And then you have Nels, whose footwork it's like a power move.
Isn't
Like
that
the
the one
way
that
he
eats Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes?
no what?
Nels. Doesn't he eat Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes?
Oh, maybe I don't know. He's
Yeah.
vegan, so
I,
probably
I
not.
saw that in an interview that you guys were hanging out. He was like, I like Tony the Tiger cereal.
Maybe. Well, yeah, man. He's another one, man. He's killing it. And they have a really big announcement coming soon that I wish I could say, but real soon, man, they're gonna be announcing something very, very big, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that I get to be in the back and just kind of clap for them and be like, hey, man, I promised you guys something, but if you guys didn't put in the work, it wouldn't have happened. So,
Yeah.
it's a
Now,
beautiful feeling.
Now, do you have any information in terms of how the team or the two individuals that are going to the USA to represent the USA in the Olympics? Do you have any information on how that's going to pan out and how that's going to roll out?
To be completely honest with you, Felix, I wish I could sit here and tell you the exact clear path on how that's gonna work. Unfortunately for everybody watching, fortunately for myself, I've taken a complete step back from that because I know how I am, and it's a little frustrating that I feel that if I were to do my part, I could probably help, but that takes away from me being a competitor. And I just want to be a competitor in this conversation. I don't want to know anything about the business. I don't want to know about anything going on in the back end. There's too many OGs in the game that too many OGs for us to be struggling with this. So I'm just kind of like, you guys have to figure it out. We need you guys to come together and put your experience, your knowledge, and everything that you guys got together for my generation, but most importantly, the generation after my generation, to be able to see the benefits of this. So I've taken a step back from it. I don't really know much that's going on. I know that it's in Paris. I know it's in 2024, and as soon as they give me a phone call, I'm there. So
Do you feel like you should be the one representing the USA?
yeah, yeah, most definitely. There's been conversations about it. A lot of people. I remember when the news was first announced. I know Cross One. He's the founder of Freestyle Session. One of the founders. He had made like a post saying like, all right, well now that this is official, I just want to let everybody know that I have Zeku as the number one pick for this because he's been training for the Olympics for years. Because I had said it coming in new into the scene like 2013, 2014. I was like, this needs to be in the Olympics, and if it does, I'm gonna win it. This was like a long time ago in like an interview. I gotta find it
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. What are you doing to take care of yourself, man? When it comes to your body, what are you doing so that when 2024 does come around and you are that guy, are you going to be banged up? Are you going to be ready? What are you doing, to make sure that your body doesn't take a severe, accident? And I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but how are you protecting yourself as an athlete?
Yeah, so I look at it this way, regardless of the business and all the assets that I've been able to acquire through all this time, I still tell myself that my body is my bread and butter. I always tell that to myself. So I do everything in my power to keep it at a top tier shape. That's why I was saying earlier in the conversation, recovery just wasn't a thing back then, at least for breaking. So I do a lot of recovery. I do a lot of massages. I do cryotherapy. I do a lot of stretching, a lot of yoga. I work out every single day to condition. I'm always researching new ways to improve my performance. I've been vegetarian slash vegan for about 5 years now. So everything that from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, is me figuring out new ways to improve my body, which is going to enhance my performance at the end of the day. So I treat it completely different than a lot of breakers. I take it as a real sport. I have coaches, I have mentors. So definitely 2024. That's gonna be a little scary. It's gonna be scary.
And what separates Breaking MIA from the rest of the b-boy schools that are out there?
We don't like to say that we're separated. We want to be able to help everybody come together. The only other school or entity that we do come together with very frequently, which is on the screen right now, is Break Free, which was founded by Moy Rivas, B-boy Moy. And like they're killing it, man. They have locations all across the U.S. I think they have like about 3 or 4 in Houston, the Houston area. So we work closely alongside them, especially with inspiration between the two of us. So we see what they're doing. This event that's on the screen right now is an event that they hosted, Space City, and you just see the production there is amazing. So we look at them and go, okay, cool. We need to make sure that we're not degrading their standard. If we're gonna do something, we got to do our part of doing something just as relatively big as what they're doing. So I definitely, in the U.S. and maybe the entire world right now, I think Break Free and Breaking MIA are kind of really holding it down in regards to elevating the sport and art of breaking and putting some real respect behind it rather than just trying to make some money, fast money off of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think along with them, the pro am, which has been an institute for a very long time, also has that vision of taking it, from the streets and putting it into a structured environment where competitors can compete and be judged on their skill level.
Very true, very true.
You know, so let's talk about the ladies. Let's talk about the ladies in the sport. How do you interact with the ladies? Do you have a certain course regiment for them? That's a little, because obviously they're built differently. So what are you doing to incorporate females into Breaking MIA?
We have a couple of B girls that are actually, man, they're up and coming. They'd be super dope. They'd be dangerous. But we don't see it that way. We've seen some of the girls outperform some of the guys. We think that they have the equal ability to be able to do what we do, and they've proved it to us. I mean, there's some top level B girls in the game right now. Off rip, Maka representing Monster Energy. I know that B girl Amy, I believe she's from Japan, representing BC1 All Stars. Amazing girls. You battle these girls and you slip, they're gonna eat you up. So
Yeah.
we treat them the same. We treat them the exact same, and we make sure that they feel like they have the opportunity to do so because it's such a male dominant sport that it's intimidating for them. But we do our best to comfort everybody that comes in, whether you're a kid, an adult, man, women, don't matter. You come in there, we'll make sure to get you right.
So you feel that breaking has gotten you personally into the place that you want to be? Like, I know that in the past you've talked about having a troubled childhood, and now do you feel like you're where you need to be? Is your life calm? What's going on with Zeku personally?
Yeah, I think competitively, I'm happy, which is pretty crazy to say. I always want to do more, but in that aspect, I am a little bit more calm. I'm just kind of picking and choosing rather than just jumping at everything that gets offered at me, which is a nice position to be at. Because for I don't know, about 8 years now, 9 years, I've been just kind of, yeah, give me a ham sandwich, bro. I'll go. That's fine. I'm down to battle. Luckily, it doesn't have to be like that anymore, but I'm always about the next project, So Breakin Mia takes a lot of time from me. Undefeated, which is our monthly local event that we do here in Miami for breakers, the all-style dancers. That takes a lot from me. And then, I always have projects on the side. We have a lot of things in the works right now. So um, I stay ready. I train every day. I work out every day. So I'm always ready to go and compete. But I'm looking more into building the blueprint, as I were saying before, because I'm 22 right now and I'm aware of my age. So it's easier for me to lay down the foundation. And, by 25, 26, everything's probably going to be solid. So I can kick right back up to being this high level competitor if for some reason I decide to take a step back from it. And then I don't have to worry about much because everything's laid out.
Yeah. So why did you decide to go with Monster instead of Red Bull?
Monster is one of those companies that really cares about their athletes. Like they really care about you and how you feel and what you're doing, and they want to support you, and they want to come alongside for the ride. I can't speak on the other side. I honestly wouldn't want to, but Monster definitely show and proved why somebody should work with them. So Monster to me is definitely hands down one of the top companies to be under with an endorsement deal, not just with breaking. If you talk to any other athlete in any other sport about Monster, they'll tell you the same thing, man. They just care about you and what you're doing. So that's volume for anybody.
Do you feel that there's companies out there exploiting breakdancers, not giving them what they deserve?
Yeah, most definitely. Like in any industry, in any field, those companies, they exist, and I don't like to point fingers and be like, oh, because they're bad people. They just probably have them misinformed. They're misinformed, and to be honest, it's our fault at the end of the day. It's our fault if we allow that, because it's usually over a paycheck. You can go get that somewhere else. So, I mean, that's basically me. I've been offered so many things. I've turned down so many deals just because of that right there. I just don't represent what you guys stand for, regardless of how much you want to pay or what you can give me. If you don't align with what I represent as a human, it's not gonna work. That's why people get caught up on social media and all these other things, because they have to live this fictitious life of what they really are and what they don't really represent. That gets tiring, man. When you're you every day. You don't gotta take a break off social media, none of that stuff, because you're just being you every day. You represent what you love, what you do. I don't wake up and go, oh, I got an interview, I got to put on this hat. Like, no, it just grows in me to put on this hat because I like the hat. It looks dope. I know I'm representing a dope company. They care about me. So it's become part of, like, my daily outfit, Like, I'm at the beach chilling with whoever I'm with, and I got my hat on, I got my shades on, I'm chilling. Like,
Yeah, you're not changing up for the scenery.
exactly.
Which is cool. So I know you chop it up with Pitt. Talk to me about your relationship with Pitbull.
Yeah, man, Armando's been a great stamp in my career in regards to just mentoring me. I've been able to sit in with him on a lot of conversations, and just him basically just sit there and give me game. I just sit there like a kid, man. I met him when I was about maybe 15 or 16 years old at a school that he opened up here in Little Havana in Miami called Slam. And he has a bunch of them now all across the U.S. I'm not sure if he's gone international with it, but I know across the U.S. he has a couple. He has one in Vegas. He has another one in Texas. So he's doing it big. And He he gave me an opportunity when he didn't really have to. He believed in me. He gave me an opportunity bigger than what I thought it was when it first happened. He listened to me and he gave me game back. Rather than just book me for a music video, that wasn't gonna help me. He really sat.
Exactly. Knowledge is power. Yeah,
He's
without a doubt. He's a great dude,
yeah.
man. He's done a lot for the community and abroad. So, I respect Pitt. I go back with Pitt way, when he was first starting his music career. I've always supported him. So he's a stand-up guy, and I really respect him, and I respect what he does, and I respect that he educates the youth. That's the most important thing. Back in 2000, I started the first DJ school down here in South Florida called the Rhythm City DJ School,
Oh,
and I
that's a,
really I really got a big satisfaction out of that. I did it for quite a while. As a matter of fact, rest in peace, Jam Master Jay from Run DMC came to my school, saw what I was doing, and went back up to New York and started the Scratch Academy. So
oh
inspiring people to do educational things is always a plus, man. Never a minus. In
yeah,
my
yeah,
book,
yeah.
you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
100%. Yeah. Nah, he gives me so much game, man, on a daily basis. Like he gives me so much game, and when I speak to him, he does, or I'm pretty sure with anybody else, when you speak to him, he doesn't make you feel like I'm a superstar and you're whoever you are. It's
Yeah,
like I'm a man, you're a man, or I'm a man, you're a woman. Like we're both human. We're here to just learn. And
yeah,
I appreciate that about him a lot. And I've picked up so many great things off of just conversating with this man. The dude is a genius. He's a genius. And on top of that, he's just a good human being. Anybody that you talk to, like, oh yeah, man, Pitt's a great guy.
yeah,
Pitt comes Pitt comes on set and thanks everybody, says hello to everybody. That stand up guy, and maybe
yeah.
one of the most impactful people that I've had around in regards to just putting me on game and showing me that there is no difference between like superstar and human.
Yeah,
When,
yeah. I think it's important. I think it's important for anybody that's going to be a mentor or have a position to teach education for them to also teach kids life skills, even if it's a sport. If it's a sport like breaking or whatever the case may be, a DJing, life skills, these kids need to know what discipline is all about. They need to know what being accountable is all about. They need to know what punctuality is all about. All those
yes,
things need to be, enforced, not enforced, but taught to them so that they get it. Like this is not, hey, let's, have fun and do whatever we want and not have to worry about consequences. You know what I mean? There's consequences for everything that you do. You don't practice as good as you needed to practice, you may not win that competition. For
yeah.
instance, yeah, for instance, I was going to ask you this question anyway. For instance, did you ever look back at a competition that you may have not won and gone, "Wow, if I would have put in 10 more hours, I think I would have beat him."
Yeah, always. Again, I was having this conversation with somebody last night, and I was telling them that every time that you lose, regardless of the politics that's involved in our game, it's your fault. It's your fault at the end of the day because you could have done something to come through with that win. You could have. We have judges who judge off of an opinion based decision. There's not really like a score or any of that stuff, and even the scoring is very opinion based because it depends on what style they prefer or what they like more. So regardless of how many scoring systems people try to put into place, it all comes down to an opinion. It all comes down to an opinion. It's not like a basketball. When it goes in through that net, there's no way of you telling him that it went through or it didn't go through. It went through. And fighting, you knock somebody out, they're on the ground cold. They can't fight back. They lost. That's guaranteed. With what we do is a little bit tough. You have to really, really obliterate somebody to the point where people are standing in the crowd screaming. By the time you're done and people are still screaming, it's a little bit hard for that politic to come into place. Even though I've experienced it myself,
Yeah.
I've experienced it myself where I completely obliterated the guy and still got voted against. But it makes it a little bit easier. And the battles that I've lost, I didn't, I just beat him. I didn't really smoke the dude. I didn't really make the dude question himself, and the judges be like, "Yeah, there's no way," And then that's why, like the clip you're playing now, this is against probably one of the most favorited b-boys of my generation. One of the guys that I looked up to coming up.
Victor.
Yeah, to beat this guy, you have to be a superhero. Somebody put that the other day. And thankfully for me, man, I've been able to beat him 3 times back to back, and it's been an honor to share the floor with him and battle with him. He's from Orlando, so we're both Florida representatives. And I remember going into this battle, I said, I can't just beat this guy. I gotta smoke him. I gotta make him look bad. I gotta make him look like he's close to retirement. Yeah, but that's my mindset. After the battle, you'll see I'm freaking.
Do you have a routine when you go round 1, round 2, round 3, or is it just like off the rip, like whatever comes to mind, or do you premeditate yourself going, okay, on this second round, I'm a bust these moves and I'm gonna do it like this?
Yeah, so I've been giving this explanation a lot lately, and I think it's the best way I've been able to put it into words, man. And just bear with me. So. This is what I tell people. This is the reason why I fell in love with breaking, and the reason why I believe it is so beautiful, so unique, and one of the hardest things to do in the world. Because when you're there competing, it's like, again, I'll use basketball for an example. You just got to worry about, taking it down the court, passing it to your teammates, shoot the ball, make it into the basket. Like you got to get a little creative with your dribbles. So I completely get that, and your ins and outs of where you're going to go. But I talk about basketball because I played basketball and even MMA because I practice MMA. You just got to be creative with the way you submit somebody or where you kind of dip in and get to knock the guy out. But we have to do all of that. And on top of that, there's music playing that you don't know what song they're going to give you.
Yeah.
And you have to be on beat.
Yeah. Of
while
course.
doing all of that, the physicality of it, the creativity of it, but now you have the musicality of it.
Yeah.
And you have to make it look like you know exactly what
That's
you're doing.
gotta be tough though, man. That's gotta be tough to check this out. That's gotta be tough for you to have to about to bust, your routine, and then a song comes down and you're like, I really don't want to be at that tempo. Or you know what I'm saying? I don't really like the instrumentation of the song. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah.
Does that play with your mind?
Yeah. I mean, that's
but
why
why can't you pick your own songs?
It's just the way the game is structured. It's just the way that it is, And I think it's beautiful the way that it is. I really do think it's beautiful because even for yourself, when you're doing all of this and you learn about music subconsciously, you learn about it. You start to figure out tempos and you start to figure out counts and how to read music while spinning your head. It's an amazing feeling when you don't know the song, you don't even know the DJ. Oh, you can see right there, showing him love, hugging him and all that.
Yeah.
But when you're spinning and doing all this and you're like, I really don't know this song, but I think the bass or the big snare is gonna hit right now, so I'm gonna stop my freeze, and you stop and the beat goes boom.
Yeah, it's magical. It's magical.
And you stop on beat. Oh my God. You yourself in the middle of that battle, you go, oh, it's a wrap. That's it.
You pull the DJ to the side, be like, yo, I said it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I like, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hook it up. You got to be friends with the DJ, bro.
Yeah. No, but of course, you end up in Switzerland. You know how to pronounce the dude's name sometimes. You're like, can't be friends with him, not yet. So it's cool. And then, you have that moment where you think you know the music and you hit it and everybody knows you missed the beat. And then everybody's like, oh, man,
that's that spontaneous stuff that comes along with the game, with the territory. Now, do you have a couple of signature moves that no one else has, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
I know you do the arch thing that you do where you go all the way back. I don't really see too many people doing that.
Yeah, it's not mine though. I know somebody. Somebody has done it way before me.
No, I didn't say it was yours, but the way you do it is different.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
the
saying?
thing. So in the generation that I'm in right now, there's not really too many moves that we create. I think we just do it our own way. I think that like Speedy's generation, that generation laid out a lot of the moves for us. So they kind of left it up to us to be able to use those moves, but in our way, so it's like exactly what you said is exactly how I approach it is, you do it straight like a hollow back, but you don't do it how Zeku does it.
Yeah.
So
everybody
that
puts their little signature on these moves, and that's what makes it, or maybe combines it with two, you know what I mean, which makes it authentic. In
Yeah,
a
yeah.
way.
The ins and outs and the transitions are what allow you to be able to claim it.
Yeah. Now, when you get that ooh from the audience, you know what I mean, when you do a certain pose or a move, um, do you think the judges are swayed by that?
It's a. You ask me, I say yeah. The majority of them
Because
are.
I know, like, when I hear it, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, they
Yeah,
felt that. You know what I mean?
yeah. But that's the thing. Breaking is so complex that you can't judge off of the crowd. That's the reason why the crowd isn't judging.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're being paid to do that job because supposedly you have a certain way of viewing this dance that not everybody else does, and that's why they're paying you the big bucks to sit down on that chair and judge. So if
Hmm.
you're judged based off the crowd, why are we paying you? We might as well just pay the crowd.
Yeah.
Sitting you up there to point your arms. Like, you're not that special, bro. We're paying you because you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know the ins and outs and the details that other people might miss. Like when you
Exactly.
watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That's
a big
that's what
UFC.
they. That's why they're there. That's why they get flown there or whatever the per diems and all that crazy because we expect you to be a professional and have that point system on point.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly, and that's what makes it a little bit tough. That's what I mean about the politics that are involved and all that because I think there's been a big confusion between people thinking that just because somebody's a dope b-boy, they're a good judge. Just because you're a dope b-boy doesn't make you a good judge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and again, all of this that I'm saying is opinion based. So even
Yeah.
what I'm saying is opinion.
Yeah. So how you gonna finish out 2021? What's next for you after the pro am?
Uh, Man, I don't know. There's some really cool things cooking up right now. Nothing I could really like speak on, but uh, definitely with a bang. I always try to do my best to finish off strong, continue to elevate, and man, I'm on 2024, so 2021 is just a little
Teaser.
just
It's a teaser.
basic, basically. So
Yeah.
if anybody's a fan,
Were you
whatever.
born in Cuba or are you were born in Miami?
I was born in Miami, so basically Cuba.
Okay, okay, that's great, man. I
Yeah.
really, Zeku, man, you've got a real professionalism about you, and you're humble, and you're very respectable. Dude, man, ever since I met you, man, you've just been a stand-up dude. I really like what you stand for. I love that you're so young and you have already a school up and running, with your friends and your dad and all that stuff. I'm sure your dad, now that he's back in your life, has been a great role model and a mentor for you as well. So, dude, you got the whole world in your hand, man, and I really applaud you for what you're doing and what you're gonna do in the future. And I really think that you are at the top of the pile, man. So congratulations. And it doesn't come easy. It comes with a lot of hard work. And I think that's what the kids see in you. They see how hard you're working when you probably don't really even have to give it that much effort, but you know what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, man, and thank you. I'm humbled by everything. I'm humbled by this opportunity. I'm humbled by everything in my life, man. I'm humbled by just waking up every day.
Yeah.
So thank you for the opportunity, man. It's been a blessing to be on here, and you already know, man. Whatever I could do, I'm here, man. So thank you for the opportunity, and
We're doing some great things for the sport as well. Give everybody your social platform so they know how to get in touch with you.
you guys can just at least on Instagram is just Zeku Mia. And then honestly, every other social media, you just put B-Boy Zeku. I hope I pop up. I should pop up. So there you go.
All right, bro. I'm gonna take you to. Well, no, we're gonna trade Cuban restaurants. See who's got the best Cuban restaurant.
All right, let's do it.
I got this one over here in Pembroke Pines called Don Pepe's. They kind of tight. They kind of tight.
Don Pepe's.
Yeah.
Man.
What you got? What you got?
That's the thing is so now that I'm like vegetarian, vegan.
Oh, that's right. You're a vegetarian. Oh, so you don't need the Cuban food no more?
No, but my boy Fusion, I gotta get. He knows the name of it. There's a vegan like Cuban cuisine spot.
No way.
Yeah,
Are you
they got like
serious?
vegan. They got like vegan croquetas, medianoches, like everything. Yeah, good food. I had a chickpea croqueta the other day. Oh my god.
Yeah. Where's it at? Is it in Hialeah or
I'm
something?
gonna ask my boy Fusion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go check it out with you. Yeah, I'll go check it out with you.
All right, for sure.
All right, Zeku, man. God bless you, brother.
All right, Felix. Last wise, man. Take
Okay,
care. Peace.
cool.
Sama Sutra. Sutra.